Today we're diving into a heated geopolitical drama unfolding in 2025. The US and South Africa are at odds. And it's about way more than just politics. It's about trade routes, global power plays, and even a controversial chant. I'm not a journalist with credible sources, just someone interested in matters of the world. Is the US trying to meddle in South Africa's affairs, maybe even pushing for Cape independence? Or is South Africa stirring the pot with its bold moves on the world stage? Grab a snack, hit that like button, and let's break it down. First, let's set the scene. South Africa and the US have had a solid relationship since the end of apartheid in 1994. The US has invested heavily in South Africa. Think health programs, education, and trade through the African Growth and Opportunity Act, or AGOA, which gives South Africa duty-free access to US markets. But lately, things have gotten tense. Why? It all boils down to three big issues: a controversial court case, a strategic piece of land, and a chant that's got people on edge. In December 2023, South Africa filed a case at the International Court of Justice, accusing Israel of committing genocide in Gaza. This wasn't just a legal move, it was a bold statement. South Africa, drawing on its anti-apartheid history, said Israel's military actions violated the 1948 Genocide Convention. The ICJ ordered Israel to stop its offensive in Rafah in May 2024, but Israel hasn't complied. 14 countries like Nicaragua and Colombia have backed South Africa, but the US, Israel's biggest ally, is not happy. In January 2024, 200 US lawmakers called South Africa's allegations hostile, and by May the US House was reviewing a bill to reassess ties with South Africa. An ex-post from March 25, 2025 by @Rainbow Nation W sums it up. South Africa is on the US radar because of the ICJ case. Everything else is a distraction. Now let's talk about geography. The Cape of Good Hope at the tip of South Africa is a key maritime choke point. Historically, it was a vital stop for ships before the Suez Canal was built in 1869. Think Dutch East India Company in the 1600s. Fast forward to 2025, an ex-post by @BlackChoppa2 on March 26th says US and Israeli ships are being attacked near the Suez Canal, so the US wants the Cape as an alternative route. This isn't new. In late 2023, 55 ships rerouted around the Cape due to Red Sea insecurity, according to the Atlantic Council. Plus, the US is worried about China's growing control over strategic ports, like near Cape Horn in South America. If the US can't rely on South Africa's government, some speculate they might support Cape independence, a movement to make the Western Cape a separate country, potentially more aligned with US interests. Hit like, subscribe, stay in the loop on what's trending. Here's where things get even messier. On March 24, 2025, US Secretary Marco Rubio posted on X, calling out the Kill the Boer chant, a protest song from the anti-apartheid era, as inciting violence against Afrikaners, white South African farmers. Rubio even offered refuge to those under threat. This echoes a narrative pushed by some US conservatives like Elon Musk, who in 2023 called the chant a call for genocide. But here's the thing. South Africa's Equality Court ruled in 2022 that the song isn't hate speech, it's symbolic, not a literal call to violence. And while farm attacks are a real issue, experts like Patrick Gaspar in 2018 called the white genocide idea a disproven myth. So why is the US amplifying this narrative? Is it genuine concern or a distraction to pressure South Africa? Let's add another layer: trade. AGOA is a big deal. It lets South Africa export goods like cars and crops to the US duty-free, creating jobs in both countries. But the US has used AGOA as leverage. In 2024, South Africa's then Minister of International Relations, Naledi Pandor, said farmers should blame AfriForum, a group lobbying about farm attacks, if AGOA gets cut, because their actions strained US ties. Pandor also noted that AGOA benefits the US too, which might have irked American officials who prefer to hold the upper hand. If Pandor tied this to the Cape's strategic value, saying the US needs the Cape as much as South Africa needs AGOA, that could have really frustrated Washington, especially amid tensions over the ICJ case. So, if the US knows there's no white genocide, and with their intelligence resources they likely do, why push this narrative? It's not about being misinformed, it's about strategy. First, the US might be using the "kill the Boer" issue to appeal to domestic audiences, conservatives who've long amplified the white genocide myth. Second, it's a way to pressure South Africa over the ICJ case, which the US sees as a direct challenge to its ally, Israel. Third, the US wants influence over the Cape, and if South Africa's government won't play ball, supporting Cape independence could be a plan B. An independent Cape, maybe led by the pro-Western Democratic Alliance, could give the US a reliable partner for port access and countering China's maritime ambitions. Now the big question, is the US the good guy, and South Africa the bad guy? It's not that simple. The US is acting in its national interest, securing trade routes, supporting Israel, countering China, but its methods, like amplifying a misleading narrative, can seem manipulative. South Africa is taking a principled stand with the ICJ case and addressing apartheid's legacy through land reform, but its actions have strained ties with the US and left domestic issues like farm attacks unresolved. Both have valid goals, but both have flaws. It depends on your perspective. If you value global stability, the US might look good. If you prioritize human rights and sovereignty, South Africa might seem good. So what's next for US-South Africa relations? The US might keep pushing the white genocide narrative to justify its actions, whether that's cutting AGOA or supporting Cape independence. South Africa will likely double down on its global South leadership, balancing ties with the US, China, and Russia. But one thing's clear, the Cape of Good Hope, AGOA, and the ICJ case aren't going away as flashpoints. What do you think? Should the US back off, or is South Africa playing a dangerous game? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into global drama. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button for more